I think it's really important to understand that the Occupy movement is part of a whole network of social movements that would like to propose alternatives to the status quo. It's important to recognize that it's a contribution similar to those of other movements as well that are calling for change, but one that has, I think, captured the imagination. Perhaps because of spontaneity, perhaps because of the fact that many people who are at the heart of it, many of the people that are spokesperson for it, represent an emerging generation of people that are devoted to social justice and to respect for the environment. If I was to think about some of the specific contributions of the Occupy movement, I think I'd have to mention, for example, that the Occupy movement identifies some of the principal causes of the social, economic, and political crisis that we're in at the moment. They speak about the greed of certain actors in financial markets. It speaks also about the vulnerability of our global financial system. And also the movement reminds us that economic forces can exercise a stranglehold on political decision makers. They identify these causes of the current crisis. But what's also very interesting is that the Occupy movement, drawing on, I call it a prophetic tradition, is able to name the kind of world that we all would like to live in. In other words, a world where you don't have children that are going to bed hungry at night. A world where, natural resources are shared much more equitably.
But before we continue, Brian, I would like to raise the fact that some people can be upset to see these people in campaign like that in the middle of the park, especially in Montreal.
Sure.
It's very well organized as a movement.
Yeah.
But some people are upset, and they could be upset by your word, contribution.
Yeah.
So I would like, what would you say to these people?
Well, one of the things that I'm impressed by is how members of the Occupy movement are living out in their practice, indeed the way they organize themselves, some values that challenge our current attitudes in society. The fact that they live in flimsy tents together, side by side, while being able to organize themselves so that privacy is respected and yet they're able to work together, says something about the challenges of actually living together and how to kind of build a movement where all kinds of different people from different backgrounds can come together. They come together, live in these tents, and perhaps very much in that prophetic tradition are challenging certain presuppositions of what it takes to be able to be happy, fulfilled in our culture. It's a no to a certain kind of logic of materialism, of acquiring all kinds of possessions, and especially this dependency on a certain level of comfort.